everybody. Okay, so I'm back with another video about Taiwan. So I wanted to discuss some tips for what happens when you actually move here. I know my last video was kind of like how to get here. So my new video is going to be about some tips that you want to keep in mind for when you get here. So the first thing you need to be aware of is you need to bring your own bowl. So, the bowls can look like different things. Some people will take off take apart their lunchbox and they will use this as a bowl. And then, where's my other? They will use this as a bowl too. So bowls come in variety of shapes of sizes. Some people actually use a glass bowl. Some people actually use just a plastic bowl, or some people use a bowl that looks like glass, but it's actually plastic. The reason why I say this is because, like I said, in America, or at least America, you get a tray, a styrofoam tray, or you get a plastic tray, and they fill up your lunch thing, and then you eat, and then you put it in the little hole, and then there goes your lunch, never to be seen again. Here, it's not like that at all. So, you get your bowl, you bring your bowl, and you fill it up with your rice and your meats or whatever, and your vegetables, and you eat it, and then you go wash your own bowl, okay? So, you need to make sure you try to get one of those before the school year starts. Both of my schools actually had extra bowls lying around, so I was okay, but just in case your school doesn't, bring your own bowl. Another thing I definitely want to say also is that make sure you have your own set of chopsticks. You can buy like a little convenient pouch, but usually you want to kind of carry that with you everywhere because you never know where you might go. But you can buy your little set of chopsticks, and it comes in a little carrying case. Some will have chopsticks, a fork, and a spoon, and you just carry it around wherever you go. That way you're always prepared. So my next tip is that you want to definitely make sure that you pack your coat. Especially if you really love your coat. Do not be fooled about the temperature readings that you might see on various websites. Even though the weather says that it's like 60 degrees, 6 degrees in Taiwan is freezing, especially in the wintertime. The atmosphere is more wet. So what ends up happening is 60 degrees will easily feel like 40 degrees, and 50 degrees you just want to die. So make sure you bring your coat. For those who may be worried about the weight and they don't want to bring the coat because the coat is extra weight, let me once again put this in perspective. Unless you are shaped like a Taiwanese person, bring your coat. Okay, we can talk about body shapes and all that stuff later, but even like if you are taller than most, if you are maybe wider than most, you are going to have, or you're both, you're going to have a hard time trying to find a coat, or you're going to pay a lot of money for that coat. So that's why I'm telling you to just go ahead, bring the coat, save a section for it, and keep on moving. The third thing I definitely want to say is that realize that the portion sizes in some instances can be a lot smaller than what you're used to. I know my first week here, for lunch, they would always do lunch boxes. And, they're really cute little boxes, a pre-amount of food. But the problem was is I'm not used to eating those typical portion sizes of a lunchbox. So I would eat and I wouldn't be hungry anymore. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But literally an hour later, maybe 2, I am hungry. Like my stomach is growling. And so it took me a second to get adjusted to the portion sizes. If you are doing like is it Hakka style? Like basically you got the rotating table, you're at a restaurant with people, you can, try to fill up to your heart's content, but you still kind of have to be considerate of everybody else, with sharing. So know that sometimes, it may look like a lot, but you're only taking away a little. So make sure you get used to the portion sizes, but at the same time, don't be scared to say that you're still hungry or can you get an extra lunchbox. Because Taiwanese people love to eat. There is no judgment when you want to eat. At least for foreigners, there is no judgment when you want to eat. In fact, it makes them very happy. They love to feed you. They love to love you with food, and I have to beg them to stop loving me with food sometimes. And I have also been criticized, believe it or not, because they feel like I don't eat enough. And I'm just saying, are you kidding me? Trust me, I eat enough. It's just maybe I don't want to eat what you have that day, or maybe I'm just not really hungry. Sometimes that really does happen. Like my appetite has actually been kind of weird sometimes since I've been in Taiwan. A tip that I want to give you is you may want to invest in one of these. Now, I don't know really what to call them. They are not converters. Let me say this. One of the best things about living in Taiwan is that you do not have to buy a converter for your outlets. You know, your dryer is going to work if you plug it straight in. Your flat iron is going to work if you plug it straight in. Or whatever American electronic device that you bring in, it will work as long as you plug it in. The problem is that many of the sockets only have 2 holes. So, like my laptop, 3. Okay, my iron that I actually bought here, 3 holes. So I had to buy one of these little thingies that have the 3 holes for me to plug in. And then it has the 2 prong on the back, okay? And then here is really cool. It rotates and everything like that. I actually have another one of these that actually has USB ports as well. So that if I want to plug my iPhone straight in without the little cube, or if I want to just plug my camera right in without the plug, then it's fine, you know? So these are very handy to have. Do not buy it before you come here. Get it when you get here. Once again, you're wasting weight. Get it once you get here. They're not expensive. If I even paid $5 for it. The thing I want to also advise you is be proactive about your semester. You want to make sure you know things, because believe it or not, I actually had a school that really did not initially tell me a lot of these dates. But you want to make sure that you know when the school year for the students, the last day for the students are, when are midterms, when are the finals, right? You want to know of any holidays, okay, that may be observed, okay? That way you can plan your curriculum accordingly, or plan with your co-teachers depending on how your setup works for your school. Also, so that you just know, you know, the days that you might be desk warming, so you're not like, oh my God, what's going on with my life? Other things like school assemblies and whatnot, I hate to say it, those are probably always going to take you by surprise. Just know that some of it is go with the flow, but as much as you can know ahead of time, go ahead and try to know it. Also, if you haven't already, try to get hold of the textbook. See if it's there yet. Start asking once you get there. Is the English textbook here yet? Because sometimes the textbooks are still trying to get there. So ask, like, has the textbooks arrived yet? Can I look at them? And most of the schools will be very helpful, and they'll let you look at them so you can kind of already know what you need to teach, how you want to teach it. If you disagree with the way of the book is teaching you certain things, this has happened before, so that you already know how to fix it, quote, quote, fix it, or say, this is another way to say it, and this is a commonly way we say it either in England, South Africa, you know, America, whatever country, and however you guys say it. If you have natural hair, please go ahead and bring your brands with you. I will say this, you know, oils you will be okay with. I've seen coconut, I've seen olive, I've seen safflower, sunflower, grapeseed. I've seen all of these oils, and typically they're more in the health food stores. I've seen all of these oils, and they're actually big too. I've seen all these oils, but the other products, you know, things like Darcy's and Jessie Curl and Curl Junkie and Camilla Rose and whomever else has come out since I actually really started buying hair products, they are not here. The only 2 recognizable brands, well, there's several recognizable brands that you'll see, but the stuff for if you're more of a purist and you don't want to apply the cones and sulfates in your hair, the only 2 brands that I've seen that make those requirements are Nature's Gate and Burt's Bees. Another thing is make sure you set the tone of how you want the staff to treat you once you get here. I know that I'm an independent person, and one thing you have to understand is with Taiwan, younger people necessarily aren't as independent as I know in America. We are very strong and proud about being independent and leaving the parents' nest and things like that. Well, here it's not exactly the same thing. It's not exactly the same thing. So they are, number one, they're gonna wanna take care of you and really call to you because you're a foreigner. But number 2, especially if you're like me, and you're under 30, they definitely will want to hover around you more and take care of you more, because they sometimes think you don't know anything, especially if they haven't hung around enough I'm going to say American foreigners. They're gonna say, they're really gonna wanna like seriously be there for you. And so for me, I know I'm independent, so I had to let them know or set the tone of letting them know in a gentle way that some things I can figure out on my own. You know, if I went and tried a new restaurant, they'd be like, oh my God, how did you get there? I'm like, well, you know, I just, you know, I went in and asked for this. Or, you know, or if I bought something and they're like, oh my God, you bought that? Yeah, I did. I just asked for it, or I pointed or whatever. And once I kept doing that again and again, where I kept saying, I went and did, then now it was like, you know, oh, she can do this on her own. Not saying that, and they also trust me that if I do need help, that I will ask them for help. And if they want to help me, I'll tell them, yes. You know, and I will, you know, sometimes because they just work. Like, if you're only gonna be here for a short time, I mean, conduct yourself however you want. But if you know you're gonna be here for a very long time or for a while, you don't want to start a habit that needs to be broken later. Because once Taiwanese get a schedule and they love that schedule, or they get a way, they love that way, they will stick to that way. So then 2 years down the road, them calling you all the time may drive you absolutely nuts. But you should have maybe started trying to break away from that as soon as you were able to. Okay? The thing is please be vocal about where you want to stay. Once again, this is all kind of like a set the example. So be vocal about where you want to stay. I know several foreigner teachers that were not happy with, or not exactly pleased with where they live. And I know for me, I have to stay somewhere where I feel comfortable, where I feel like I can relax and whatever. So I was honest. When they would ask my opinion about an apartment, I would say no, or yes, or no, or maybe. And so I have what I have now. It was my second choice for a home. And my biggest complaint is too big. I actually have a Taiwanese house, not a traditional house, but like one of the, you know, goes up houses. So I actually told my kids too much room. I hope to move in a year to an actual apartment that's much more conducive to what I have. The thing is, if you want to cook, bring your spices. On the train for an hour just to go get these spices. You have to wait till your groceries are low to go and so just bring some very spices that are not really available anywhere. And the last thing is that you need to learn some Chinese. If you are going to work with MOE, especially where you are working in more remote areas, you need to learn some Chinese. I'm not telling you to be fluent in it, at least not right